By the way, we got so much big news to cover. We're going to start right now.
Yeah, we were reeling still from the events of last week. Not only do we have new AEW World Tag Team Champions, but Christian Cage plunging the dagger in the back of Jungle Boy. Christian Cage will address that, and I assume so much more later tonight, but we are starting things out with the American Dragon.
Bryan Danielson is going to address the audience, and Tony Schiavone's in the ring awaiting him.
A lot of questions, a lot of speculations about what the future of Bryan Danielson is here in AEW. He's looking at Forbidden Door. He's looking ahead to Blood and Guts. And our very own Tony Schiavone is going to get to the bottom of this situation.
Great crowd on hand here in Milwaukee tonight. Glad you're with us watching at home or wherever you may be around the world. Let's take it down to our esteemed colleague, ladies and gentlemen. And that's not a New Year range, but it's a good one. Here's Tony Schiavone.
Okay, Bryan Danielson, and what a week for us here in AEW Sunday. Forbidden Door in Chicago on pay-per-view, and then 1 week, Blood and Guts in Detroit. It's great to have you here on such a big week for AEW.
Tony, if you don't mind, I'm just going to take this from you, and I'm not going to give it back. This week is a great week to be an AEW fan. This week is a great week to be a professional wrestling fan. Sunday, we've got Forbidden Door, an inter-promotional pay-per-view with the two best professional wrestling companies in the entire world. You are going to see some excellent professional wrestling. And then a week from today, on Dynamite, you get nearly the complete opposite with the bloody spectacle that is Blood and Guts. Milwaukee, I love that you're every bit as excited about that violence as I am. You see, and I was expecting to be a part of both of those events. Chris Jericho had paid the self-proclaimed best technical wrestler in the world, Zack Sabre Jr., to challenge me to a match. He claimed he was going to prove he was a better technical wrestler than Bryan Danielson. I was not only excited to prove that that was not true, but I was also going to crush his trachea. I was excited to get into Blood and Guts so I could get revenge on Chris Jericho and his flaccid crew of cocksmen for what they did at Anarchy in the Arena. But unfortunately, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The bad news. Because of what Chris Jericho and Jake Hager did at Anarchy in the Arena, I am not cleared to compete. Either at Forbidden Door or at Blood and Guts. But Lest anybody be concerned about my overall health, you can probably tell that my mind is working at full 100% capacity. I can jump into the ring. I can read 500 words a minute. I can run 2 miles, and I won't even break a sweat. So don't worry about me coming back. I broke my neck, separated my shoulder, detached my retina, and there's not a man in this world who can wrestle in this ring like I do right now. And that's not even the good news. That's not even the good news. Here's the good news. Eddie Kingston has gone on record to say that I'm a judgmental prick. Guess what? You're damn right I am. And because I'm a judgmental prick, I have really, really high standards. So you know that when I promise you something is going to be amazing, it is going to be amazing. I have found the one person I trust to take my place at Forbidden Door. The one person I trust to take my place at Blood and Guts. The one person I know in the entire world who will take it to Zack Sabre Jr. from a technical level and then go and kick Chris Jericho's head in at Blood and Guts. I have found that one person, and you are all going to be astounded by what he does in AEW. Do you guys... Who? Don't you guys know I came out of the bad guy tunnel? I'm not gonna tell you. But do you know what? I'm not gonna tell Zack Sabre Jr. either. So tune in on Sunday, and you're going to see the greatest technical match of your lives. That's what I like to hear. Who's the best technical wrestler in the world?
Hard to argue that point. Spirited and memorable remarks from Bryan Danielson. Out till further notice. He is coming back, but not Sunday or Wednesday.
Oh, wait a second. The man who has been absolutely dominant in New Japan Pro Wrestling, thanks to his technical prowess, Zack Sabre Jr.
Sabre Jr. is a very special athlete, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen him, he is a great technical wrestler. He has great submissions, counters. He's a beautiful counter wrestler.
We will have to wait for the collision between Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson, but we know Zack Sabre Jr. will be in action this Sunday against Bryan Danielson's hand-picked replacement, JR.
Yeah, that should be good because Bryan's got a lot of friends. Should be good. Ladies and gentlemen, what a matchup is going to be. Jon Moxley got a lot to talk about, a lot to prove. Here's more.
Sometimes it's business and sometimes it's personal. In a week's time at Blood and Guts, it will most definitely be personal. Jericho Appreciation Society. What an ego trip. They blinded my best friend with Fireball. They put my partner on the shelf, and last week they came after me. In Vegas, we found out those guys can fight. Next week, we find out if they can survive. Because they'll be locked in there with dogs who don't know how to do anything else. Santana and Ortiz survived the streets of New York City. Eddie Kingston survived grinding in this business for 17 years. Wheeler survived everything we could throw at him and me. I've been around the block a time or two. God, I hate Chris Jericho. Men like that driven by money, fame, ego. We'll find out just how much they're willing to suffer, just how much they're willing to endure next week inside that bloody steel cage. But before that, this Sunday, there's a little matter of, I don't know, maybe the biggest match of my entire life. The AEW World Championship against maybe the greatest wrestler who ever lived, Hiroshi Tanahashi. This means more to me than you can imagine, Tanahashi. It's been 3 years of transforming into a better man, into a father. This Sunday, I finally transform into what I always knew I could be when I stepped into the ring with the ace. Tonight, Tana, it's business. This Sunday, it is personal. Because once that bell rings, I have no respect for anyone.
You summed it up pretty well there, did Mox. High stakes, main event, pay-per-view Sunday.
The following contest is a trios match set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Making their way to the ring, the team of freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy and Roppongi 5.
That's right, JR. Ahead of the collision this Sunday at Forbidden Door, Jon Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi will team up in our main event here tonight to take on Chris Jericho and the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer.
Very interesting to see them team together, Excalibur and JR. And it's great also to see Orange Cassidy finally get back in the ring and wrestle after a few months.
Now, this is Orange Cassidy's first return to action after the injury. And he's going to have his
injured shoulder, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Going to have his work cut out for him against these three gentlemen who made their debut here in AEW just a few weeks ago, walking through the Forbidden Door.
And their opponents representing New Japan Pro Wrestling, the team of Will Ospreay and Ozzy Open.
That's Will Ospreay in the front, Mark Davis on the left, Kyle Fletcher on the right. Will Ospreay, the undisputed Revolution Pro British Heavyweight Champion, and also the IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling, though Juice Robinson actually has possession of that belt, and he disputes the fact that he never lost the belt. He was stripped of the title and he refuses to give it back.
This kid Will Ospreay is a phenomenon. He truly is.
He can do some amazing things in the ring that we've never seen before. His hang time is how quick he is in the ring.
And DraftKings is an official partner of AEW, and tonight anyone can play free for $10,000 in DraftKings AEW Forbidden Door Pool. Download the DraftKings app, use code Dynamite when you sign up, and play free tonight. Rocky Romero and Kyle Fletcher starting things out for their respective sides. Rocky Romero, wild swing and a miss. And now the side headlock. Fletcher sends Romero into the ropes. Collision in the center of the ring.
Well, the size disparity really was prominent and evident there.
Yeah, it won't stop Rocky, though. He and, of course, Trent have been tag team champions, junior tag team champions in IWGP before.
Yeah, the heavyweight titles have eluded them, and this is their opportunity this Sunday at Forbidden Door. It'll be Roppongi Vice, FTR, and the Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb in a winner-takes-all three-way